9 o'clock on your Tuesday night. Back here with Sid Rosenberg, my third Instagram Live now in like 4 days. We did the Hall of Fame boxing trainer Teddy Atlas on Saturday. Yesterday on Memorial Day, my former producer, now half of the Colin Coward Show, Joy Taylor, stopped by. And what a couple nights we got coming up now for this week. I mean, it is unbelievable. First, on Thursday night, this guy is one of the funniest people you'll ever see in your whole life. He's a dear friend of mine, the diehard New York Met fan and a great comedian. Jim Brewer is going to stop by my living room on Thursday night. And, of course, tonight, coming up in a couple of minutes, one of the funniest ladies, if not the funniest lady, I should say, God ever created, another dear friend of mine, and a very smart lady. She's now doing different things with her career, not just mean jokes. And that is the very, very talented Lisa Lampinelli, about to stop by here coming up in a couple of minutes. So we got an unbelievable docket of guests here on what has now become my new addiction. Yes, of course, I'm co-host of the Bernie and Sid in the Morning Show on Talk Radio 77 WABC, 6 to 10 every weekday morning. But this is fun. I had to talk to these people right here from my own living room on the Upper West Side, and they're at home as well, obviously, during this COVID time. In fact, I got a story for you. I do need AirPods, you're right. It's kind of silly I still have these things going on. But I was just watching Jim Brewer do his show from his garage. He had these on also. So Jim Brewer can wear them. I certainly can. David Spade doesn't. I watch his show on here quite often. Neither does Adam Sandler. So I may make that investment, get these AirPods here coming up over the next couple of days. Look, this is a weird time for everybody, and most folks are at home most of the time. I'm not. You guys listen to me. You know that I'm out there. I'm at the park every day. I'm working out. I got a great tan, as you can see. I got burnt today, 73 and sunny here in New York. So I had a chance to be out there for about 4 hours. So I got beat up a little bit in the sun today, but no mask, of course. I was actually in the park today, and I saw people with towels that were facing the sun about 3 o'clock this afternoon, 73 degrees, brilliant sunshine, beautiful New York City afternoon. People sitting on towels, facing the sun, clearly going out to get some sun, wearing masks. What the fuck? What are you doing? So, me, of course, I can't help myself, and I have to yell and scream at these people. And almost every day, a police officer comes up to me and says, please just calm down. And they're very nice, by the way. The cops are very, very nice to me. They know me by now up here in Riverside Park on the Upper West Side. But I just don't get people, young people walking around with masks on and laying in the sun with masks on as if they're going to die or kill somebody else. It's amazing how people can get brainwashed very, very quickly if, in fact, you allow your networks and your local politicians to do that. And that seems to be the case here in New York City. But I feel like it's getting better. Staten Island has now met all 7 requirements. Not open yet, but they met all 7 requirements. Long Island is set to open up tomorrow. The Hudson Valley opened up yesterday. So only the schmucks like me, who are paying the highest rent, by the way, anywhere in New York, here in New York City, we're not going to open anytime soon because Cuomo's going to, drag his feet and make life miserable for us as long as he possibly can. So that's the bad news about living in New York City. But the good news is, again, it was a gorgeous day today, and Lisa Lampinelli is coming on tonight. She just joined, in fact. Oh, this is going to be so fantastic. I love this lady. There's my friend Christina. Hi, Christina. Let me bring on, ladies and gentlemen, and Dolores. Hi, Dolores. The fantastic, the great Lisa Lampinelli. I think I just, let me accept her. And you guys are in for a treat, I can tell you that. Lisa Lampinelli, of course, from stage, the great comedian, Celebrity Apprentice, wrote books, Broadway. Lisa Lampinelli, how are you?
Good. I look so great tonight.
You do.
It's so funny because I've been on what I consider a sabbatical / quarantine vacation, and I just got my roots done yesterday in Provincetown, home to all the gays. And I got to say, I'm kind of nailing it.
You do look gorgeous. You always look gorgeous, Lisa. You know that. That's nothing new for you. So tell me what's going on with you. You're stuck at home, this COVID-19 like everybody else. What do you do with yourself?
Well, what's crazy? I never realized what an introvert I was. For about the first, I would say 6 weeks, having the freaking time of my life because I was like, okay, whoever's in my life, in my house, which is my 2 dogs, are the people I'm meant to see every day, and everyone else I don't even care about. So luckily, I would shop once a week for my mom. Ooh, am I looking at your crotch? I don't want to see that, believe me. As an asexual person, I don't want to see that. But yeah, I was just like basically shopping for my mother once a week, going over there, playing cards with her social distance wise, had the dogs. and I realized how little I missed. Like,
Mm.
I literally don't like to do much. I'm pretty basic. I'm pretty boring. So
No,
I enjoy my alone time a lot.
I can see that, and getting to know you over the years, I know you. You know, it's funny because here you were, this big time comedian, and again on Celebrity Apprentice, and this major star, Howard Stern, writing books. I loved your off Broadway show stuff. That was
Oh,
fantastic.
thank
And
you.
yet, I got the feeling, getting to know you very, very well, that you hate people. And given the opportunity, you would much rather not be around any people. I got
I
that
think
feeling.
actually, you know what it is? I actually like a lot of people, but not enough to have to see or text or talk to them.
Hmm.
So I really realized, like, every day in quarantine, like 6 days a week at least, I would talk to my two best friends who are just like soulmates. So I was
Hmm.
like, oh, that's great. Like, we'd be on the phone. I There were other people that I go, well, when I get out of here, I'm going to really enjoy having breakfast or lunch with them, but not much more. And family, of course, I miss just because, they're family. But yet, other than that, I'm like, dude, all these invitations to these stupid events and this crap that I don't want to do. I said, the hell with all of it. I want to be alone. I'm like freaking Greta Garbo with this dog right here. Right, partner?
You
Oh,
know, somebody was asking me tonight, they're like, if Lampinelli is home every day, all day, over under 5, the amount of times Lisa Lampinelli masturbates in 1 week.
oh, never. I haven't. And listen, people don't believe me. And you know me, I'm not a comedian anymore. So I just tell the truth. I have not spanked it in about 10 years because I went through menopause. I got no sex drive. So
Oh,
I am so saved from this potential waste of time. Instead, I go and I work on myself. I watch my shows. I cry. I laugh. I have a good time. I talk on the phone. I hang with the dog. I swear to God, I can't be bothered with it. How many times are you doing it? That's the question.
well, I'm not 3 times a day.
Pretty good though, because you're a guy, so that's considered a minimum, I think.
I know.
I'm
What's
very
up?
proud of you. Now, is your wife relieved that you're pleasuring yourself so she doesn't have to look at you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? We all eventually, even you're a handsome guy, Sid, but at the point of marriage, how many years? 20, you married 20 years or something?
28.
See, who wants to even look at you? You got a beautiful wife. She's in the other room spanking it to some pornography. You have your own say. You come eat dinner. Everybody's happy.
Oh, you're
That's what
exactly
works
right.
for me.
You're exactly right. So I get a message about 3 weeks ago, and you're going to appreciate this.
Yeah.
I don't know who the guy is, but he sends me a message and he says, "Listen, I had the COVID-19, and I think when you find out who I am,
Oh my
you're going to be."
God. My ex-husband Jimmy Big Balls almost died from it.
You're exactly right. I get a message from James Canizaro. I don't know him from a fucking hole in the wall. Turns
Yeah.
out he's your ex-husband. He almost died.
Listen, I wanted him to die when we were married before I had to pay the money in the prenup. No, now he decides to almost die. But honestly, it was very scary because me and Jimmy, as you know, have remained friends. I love his new wife. I went to their wedding. Well, let me tell you, I get a message from her that he's in the hospital. He's doing terrible, and she's really freaked out. So I go, well, would it help for me to call him and yell at him a little bit? And she goes, he'd really like that. Because we always had the dynamic, I just yell at him about everything.
Right.
And now that we're not married, I'm allowed to, and it doesn't hurt his feelings. It was really freaking scary. But you want to know what happened after that? Once he got well, he goes on a freaking media tour of, hey, I beat COVID. This
Right.
guy loves it. I
Right.
said, you know what? The universe helped him now have a little bit of recognition. Because
Okay.
Jimmy's the type, he likes having the attention.
Right.
You know,
Well, I screwed him. I didn't bring him on. I'm like, if you can get your ex-wife to come on and talk about you, which I'm doing right now,
yeah.
that would be
You
great.
should have I tell you why you should have Jimmy on, and I'll tell you why. He's the most entertaining guy. One of the, other than comics that I know, he's one of the most entertaining guys in the world. He has really funny stories. He's a great guy. But yeah, I mean, if he could have died, like I said, 8 years ago before I had to write the check, it would have been a nicer deal for me. But I'm glad at least he's not dead.
Well, he's good to go. That's good. The brilliant Lisa Lampinelli with us. The other rumor is, I know these are just rumors because I know you very, very well, and I love you to death. You know that.
Yeah.
The other rumor is that when you were on Celebrity Apprentice, that you gave the current president of the United States a blowjob so he wouldn't fire you on the show. Is that true?
Oh, it's disgusting. We didn't even see him. That's the intense thing about Celebrity Apprentice that nobody understands. We don't see or talk to Trump ever. So basically what happens is he gives you the assignment. You're in a whole room full of people. You go off. You never see the guy again. It's kind of like how he is in office now. He doesn't do anything.
You
So
know,
he's out banging whoever, playing the golf, doing all this, comes into the boardroom and fires somebody. Well, and also, by the way, if I had given a blowy to anyone, they would have definitely not kept me around because I'm awful at it. I
Oh, you
will
bet.
admit fully that I talked a good game back in the day with comedy. I was terrible at the sex, and that's okay. Not one of my strong suits. I'm a terrific person. I'm a kind-hearted human. I was a great comic, but I got no other skills.
All right. Well, listen, I doubt that's true. You're probably being very, very humble. But you say you were a great comic, and you were. You were clearly the Don Rickles of this generation, the greatest female comic, I think, ever. And you gave it all up. You gave it all up. We know what you're doing now. We'll get to that. But how does somebody like you, with that monster success as a comedian, decide one morning, fuck it, I'm done?
Yeah, I think it was a build to where it's kept feeling not fun and not joyful like it used to. Like I remember when I started open micing when I was about 30 years old, you'd go to these open mics, you would have the glee of, oh my God, I tried a new joke. Oh my God, look, it's working. And it was all like teamwork and everybody had so much fun at these places. And then the pressure starts building once you get more known and it's about making money and it's about getting famous and staying visible. And I'm telling you, I started to notice after 30 years, but who really is happy for 30 years in a career? I was like, there's not that joy. So I was like, let me get out of this. It's okay. I'm allowed to do whatever I want. Thank God I saved a little money. I'm not going broke. Let me just see what's next, if anything. Because part of me too was like, I might just want to sit around. And by the way, COVID is the greatest experience in what you experiment in what I want to do. And I'm like, nothing in this past 6 to 8 weeks has made me want to create anything, do anything. I enjoy sitting. This sitting and not doing and having a life and talking to people and maybe, I don't know, taking up one charity or cause or something. That'd be nice. But now I'm like, I don't need attention. Yesterday, literally, I did go, like I said, to the hairdresser. This is my target
Well,
group of
hold on, hold on,
fans.
hold on. What do you mean the hairdresser? Where was this? They're all closed down, I thought, in New York.
Massachusetts.
Oh,
So I quarantine myself up here for 14 days. Then I go to the hairdresser. Now, I'm in P-Town, which is the hotbed of gay society. And I'm figuring, okay, at least I'll get a little hit of recognition from the gay guy cutting my hair. I spell my name, my legal name, the right way, and I have a face mask on. He has no idea who I am. And I go, I can't even get love from this guy. I said, this is a lesson in me just being a real person. So I
that's
felt
great.
very good about myself. I go, look at me. I don't even have to say, oh, do you know who I am? I was
Right.
just like, yeah, I'm happy that you met Liza Minnelli.
That's great. That's a nice story, actually. Quick hellos to Lou and Karen, Isa, Dolores, Antonio, and Christina watching tonight. So listen, so you gave up the comedian stuff, and the next thing you know, you're doing this, I guess, kind of like a Tony Robbins type of thing. You go out there, you do speeches. Look, you were very, very heavy one day.
It was more about, took the off-Broadway show, which was
I
about
loved it.
food and body image stuff. I love that you came. That was so nice of you. And I took that on the road, which I still do. It's called Losing It. And it's the stories from the show with other cast members. So we talk about food and body image stuff. And obviously, they've all been put on hold because of the pandemic.
Sure.
But dude, I get such joy from that show. And I'll tell you, the best part of the whole show to me is the Q&A at the end, because people come with problems and I get to like coach them through a little bit.
Yeah.
And actually during COVID, I was like, oh, I didn't hate coaching. I just overwhelmed myself with it when I started. So I took on a few clients and I'm like, oh my God, this is really fun. Like, I feel like I'm at least affecting people's lives a little bit.
Oh, no, of course, in a big way. I mean, and Danny B, hi, you are inspirational. I mean, I don't know, what was your heaviest? Somebody actually said to me today, they go, I miss Lisa Lampinelli. I love her, but I like it better when she was fat. And I'm like, I don't.
I don't understand that comment, and that's okay. Like, they're allowed to, because what it implies is that I grew in a direction they didn't like. Because I remember when I was at a fatter weight, I was like maybe talking more stuff with a I wouldn't say a mask, but hid behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't being the real me. I was being more brusque, and I wasn't showing any emotion. Like during the play, that stuff, you show emotion, because
Yeah.
I'm being real. So it took me shedding some weight to be able to do that. Do I wish I hadn't had to do it and could stay a bigger woman and still be myself? I wish I could have done that, but me personally, I couldn't get around that.
Well, how
So
much weight did you lose altogether from your
I
highest
lost
amount of weight?
Yeah, I
To,
lost. I went from 248, so I lost 107 total,
wow.
and I kept it off 8 years or 8 9 years. And the doctor, I called him the other day, because I can't eat very much food. Like it's really annoying because my coping mechanisms are all out the window. Like I don't have sex, I don't want to shop anymore online. I don't have food. I don't drink. I never did drugs. I said, this is crap. Like, what do I get to do that I don't have to feel these uncomfortable feelings that come up? And so I called my doctor. I said, look, man, did you make my stomach too small so you could get to be a famous doctor because I stayed skinny? And he's like, no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's try a few things. Because it's interesting. It's like I miss food.
Of
And I think
course.
we all miss anything that we used to use to cope with feelings.
Sure.
And now instead of numbing out with food or this or that, I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to now feel my feelings, which
Oh, I
blows.
know. Listen. As a recovering addict myself, I was
Yeah,
quick to the booze, quick to the cocaine, quick to whatever
yeah,
was out there that made me feel good for the second. So I'm right
sure.
there with you. Same exact thing, whether it's eating or sex or drugs or alcohol. It's all the same exact thing. Now, on an average day, for example, Lisa, I wake up this morning, I'll have an egg white omelet, okay? Then
Yeah,
I'll have some type of protein bar and a yogurt. Then I'll have
yeah,
my lunch. It's chicken or something relatively healthy. Then I'll have a protein shake. Then I'll have dinner, and usually I'll have one more snack before I go to bed. I have figured out for me, at 53 years old, in pretty good shape, that the more I eat, 6 or 7 times a day, and not very much each time, my
yes,
metabolism really keeps cooking, and I keep myself
right.
in much better shape. On an average day,
Yeah.
what does Lisa Lampinelli eat now?
I have to eat every 2 to 3 hours. And actually, my dietitian said to me the other day, because your portions are so tiny, she goes, I would say on the hour, if you want to have a little something, she goes, you eat 3 bites, you're full. And she goes, I'm worried you don't get enough food. And I'm like, you're right. I definitely don't. So I'm experimenting these past few weeks on just eating tiny little amounts. Like today I woke up, I go, let me get some protein in because, dude, that's the biggest thing I have to get in. So I had a protein shake in the morning. I
Good.
drink it really slow because, it goes down slow. Then about 3 hours later, I had some cereal with some low-fat milk. Then I had these little soup dumplings from Trader Joe's.
Mm-hmm.
I could only fit 3. I'm really angry because I'm like, I want to eat the whole box. The whole goddamn box is only 150 calories. I'm eating this fucking thing 3. So, and then I had some veggie chips, and now I'm getting hungry again. So I think the whole thing is I'm so excited and happy when I get physically hungry, but I don't feel any food's bad food. I'll eat chocolate. I'll have this. I'll have that. I'll have dessert. I'll have a muffin. But there's so little I can fit that I
Yeah.
try to save most of my stomach for protein because it gives
Right.
me energy. Like I don't
Right.
want to
Right.
be falling asleep all the time.
Right. No, yeah, protein is the best all day long for me, too. The great Lisa Lampanelli here on my third edition of Instagram Live. So, Lisa, when you think back to your career, though, and all the great people you met, again, all those times on the Howard Stern show, he loved you.
Uh,
My show, for example, all the shows you've ever done. What are the couple things that you really, really miss? I know you're very happy right now away from the profession, but there's got to be times when you go, damn, I kind of miss that. Or maybe not.
I think the performer thing, I get that hit from when we do the show, the storytelling show. So the performing hit is fine. I mean, I love money. I really wish I had more money. That's like really self-centered and
That would be
horrible.
nice.
But money like is really a reality. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I have enough, but that was nice. But I miss the beginnings of my career. Like I said, those open mics where I felt like we were all beginners and trying
And who
new
was, when you
things.
say we were all, was it like, who was back then? Andrew Dice Clay? I don't remember
No,
who
no,
you
no.
came up with.
Dice had made it already. It was like Jim Gaffigan, people
Oh,
on that level.
yeah.
So Rich Voss, Jim Norton, all those guys.
All the Opie and Anthony guys, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh, that was cute. Like, it was more fun. But then again, I bet if I was back then now, I'd be like, this is hard. This sucks too.
Yeah.
So, but I don't miss going to events. I don't miss getting dressed up and hair and makeup and all this craziness. I don't miss Twitter wars and fighting with people. Um, I think I had to figure out, okay, my identity can't be tied to this past career because it's just filling the emptiness in me, and I have to really work on that from the inside. So it's all an inside job, just like with
I know
the booze, anything.
it is an inside job, and the dichotomy with you is fascinating to me because the folks that love you and everybody in this room loves you, obviously, and the whole nation loves you. You were vicious. I mean, you were Don Rickles with a vagina. You were fucking tough.
Well,
And
yeah,
yet,
and
when
everybody.
when you meet you in real life, you're the most, nice natured and sweetest and almost timid person you'll ever meet.
Well, I think that Rickles was very similar that way, and Stern. And the thing is, I think if you have a big heart and you don't mean what you say, back years ago, now it's really hard to be a comic because of political correctness, which I totally understand. Um, but back then, it was like, oh, they got your heart. Now people just listen to the words and cancel you. So that's a whole nother thing. I'm
Right.
like, I don't miss that. And honestly, I do understand why comics apologize, and I have apologized for things because I'm like, yeah, you don't want to make anybody feel bad. That wasn't your intention. So I did like that Rickles and I sort of had that little thing where you could say it, and you say, just have some fun with people and poke.
But with you, and this is why you had such great success, and it's such a double-edged sword because in my business, for example, I can't get very ethnic. I certainly can't attack the gays.
Yeah,
You were able to do stuff like that. That was part of your real vim and
sure.
vigor, and that worked for you. And unfortunately, those days are gone. That's not a good thing.
Well, Kathy Griffin was funny because she came to one of my shows in Vegas years ago, and she goes, I know my gays love me, but I don't call them those names. How do you get away with it? And they give you a standing O. I said, I don't know. I guess they just know I don't mean it.
Right.
So even here, like being in P Town, what's really funny, it's all gay, and I wanted to go someplace where it was empty. I just wanted a little break from Connecticut where I could just walk the dogs and not bump into anybody, just in general, because my neighborhood in Connecticut was getting crowded because it's all on the beach. So all these white people, I can't stand
Oh,
them. Oh,
oh,
everybody's white and rich. I
oh,
can't take it. No
terrible.
Jews, not even a Jew.
What?
So I'm walking around up here, and what's funny is when I'm walking the dogs, I'll meet gay guys or whatever, and part of me wants to go, hey, and like do a slur, like, because they know it's like from the good place. But I go, that's not me anymore. Like, it's funny.
Wow.
Like, you just have
Wow.
a thing where you go, well, that was on stage, Lisa. This is
Hmm.
off stage, Lisa. And they still like me anyway, you know?
Yes, of course I love you because you're a great person. But I'll give you a sports analogy, okay?
Hmm.
Lots of times, boxers, for example, they fight their last fight and they decide I got plenty of money. I'm sick of getting punched across the face. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take some time off. And then all of a sudden, about 8 years down the road, like a 53-year-old Mike Tyson, you say, you know what? 20 million sounds pretty good. So,
Yeah.
are you really done? If somebody came to you 5 years from now and said, hey, Lisa, I want the old Lampinelli. I'm going to give you some type of money. Would you go back to that? Or are you saying right here, right now, I am done?
No, I was done. I am done. What I don't close the door on is doing sort of a one woman thing where I talk about what's important to me now, what's important issue wise. And that, of course, it'd be funny because that's just who I am. But
Hmm.
I would never go back to the insult comedy because it's done. I was so good at it. I'm
So good.
so great as a roaster. Like, I know in my heart I don't ever have to be on a list of great roasters because I go, come on, we all know. So I think that good self-esteem about what you've done is really important, and not to forget it, but also go, yeah, what's done is done. And you can't, if you've evolved past something, you
Hmm.
can't go backwards or it looks really desperate and terrible. But if somebody was to say, we want you to do a one woman
You
show
would do
about
that.
what
You
you
would do
care
that.
about, yeah.
Right. You would do that. What do you
Because
think
right now
about,
I really care about a lot of things. Like,
I
I
don't,
really found
I
out
don't,
in here, in quarantine, I really, because I've been working on myself so much
yeah.
about my issues and stuff, until you really care about yourself, you can't care about anybody else. And now I'm like, holy crap, there's people
Hmm.
in the world who have it really effing bad. And I just find I'm getting emotional all the time with it in a good way of like, oh, I'm feeling softer inside. I can take in and help other people. So I don't know. I really like this caring about others, which I never thought of because comedy's an emotionally violent career.
It
Dana
is.
Carvey said it's emotionally violent. You're killing, you're dying. I mean, you use even these words that are violent and you're with your dukes up every minute. And now that I don't have to keep my dukes up, things come in that are
Yeah,
nice.
it's an amazing group of people too. Artie Lang, of course. I wrote the forward for my book. He's a dear friend. He's tried to kill himself 10 times. God bless him.
Oh,
His nose fell off his face. Jim Norton.
yeah,
Jim Norton goes to Pittsburgh, for example. First thing he does is he gets the yellow pages to find a transvestite hooker. You
right.
got a guy like Black. He's always depressed. It's an amazing group of people in that their job and your job was to make people laugh on stage, and yet they're the loneliest, darkest people you'll ever meet. Except for Jerry Seinfeld, but everybody else are the
Right.
loneliest, darkest people you'll ever meet. All of them.
And I think what's weird is I was never like that. And people were like, wow, you're so different on stage, off stage. The darkness is on stage, like with Rickles. So I think me getting out of it was pretty easy because I was like, well, that's not really, it's like kind of an act and it's like just fun. And, now I can just be a softie. Like I found, I mean, I cry at everything now.
Oh,
I am the biggest smush. And I
what?
know I always had a mushy heart. But like you should see me. I have a conversation with a friend today about like, she was afraid her agent was going to drop her and he didn't. And I started crying. I was so happy for her. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? It's like, what I blame the dogs. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because until you adopt a dog, you hate everything. But they break you open. Like my two little dogs, they're so just mushy, and then start liking babies. I used to ignore babies
Oh,
for a
God.
reason to hurt their parents' feelings. I used to be like, F that kid. Now I'm like, oh my God, he's so cute. Okay, there's something wrong with me. But I think we
Wow.
have to, that softness has to come out or the darkness does take over. And some of these poor guys who commit suicide and have depression, it's a very sad life.
Very, very sad life. A couple more of the great Lisa Lampinelli here. I love you to death. This is awesome. You're great. I did see a cute movie a couple of days ago, I have to say. And I'm not the biggest David Spade fan. I like him. My friends love him.
Yeah.
I like the wrong Missy. Was that adorable or what?
Well, first of all, let me tell you, this girl in it, Lauren Lapkus, who is terrific, who's the lead, I had offered her a part in my play, and she was just getting hot.
She would be great in your play.
Yeah, and unfortunately, again, I approached her a year after she was too hot to get in my show. What a terrific talent she is. I love that Spade isn't afraid to look stupid. I love the writing was amazing.
Amazing.
And I'm not a big
I think the writing was Adam Sandler's nephew, I think, right? That was a Happy Gilmore production.
Oh, I love those guys. And you know what? No one's ever going to give Adam Sandler a good review, which is ridiculous. Because I'm sorry, Happy Gilmore. What's the big one? Wedding Singer was so good.
That was big. You had Billy Madison. The one for me, the one you talk about crying, and I cried everything too, Lisa, but I've always been that way. That's not new for me. The movie he did with Drew Barrymore, when she had the brain injury and she forgot everything after 10 seconds, that was brilliant.
51st Dates.
51st Dates. And you talk about a loyal guy. Rob Schneider, he finds a way to get that motherfucker in every movie. It's a silly role most of the time, but he's in it.
Yeah, and what's great is like there's that thing where you just have to accept the critics are never going to like you, and that's not why you're doing it. Like I was never somebody to even get reviewed. Like I was just so like under the radar, even though I had HBO special and all these other specials and on TV all the time, I kind of always snuck under the radar, and I go, they're never going to notice me, and you have to reconcile that that's okay. Like you're not everybody has the greatest publicity draw to them.
Well, listen, he gets about $20 million a movie, and I got to tell you, I see him almost every year. I used to, at least. I would go to the Boca Resort every Christmas. His mom lives in Boca del Rey. He would go there, and just like the movie, Lisa, he'd have white zinc all over his face to protect himself from the sun, tube socks to his knees, a basketball shirt. He looked like he was in one of his own movies, and he was always, hello, Sid, good to see you, the nicest guy in the place.
I believe that's true. And by the way, Uncut Gems, what an actor.
Yes.
And this is the heartbreak I'm talking about. when he was on Stern talking about Uncut Gems when it was coming out, he really had hope in his voice about being nominated for an Oscar.
I saw that interview, and
did.
I saw that, and I think he should have been.
I do too. And it was just such a good year for movies, especially leading men and leading women. And it, again, we all get our hearts broken by the business. And I go, you know what? That's okay. Because ultimately what counts is the love you give out and the love you get, you know, and it doesn't really, the rewards and awards just kind of sit there on the shelf. But
Right.
yeah, we just have to be sad over things and then get over it eventually.
Well, then let me ask you this on the way out, Lisa. You know, you talked an awful lot tonight about during this time you've had a chance to kind of think about stuff and you like helping people. There's a lot of people inside this chat room tonight. Most are saying really terrible things about both of us. That's fine. But
It's okay.
some are actually decent people and enjoying the show. And if they, in fact, were struggling with something tonight and they said, let me tell you something, this Lisa Lampinelli, she looks inviting. She looks like she can help. How would somebody actually talk to somebody like you?
Well, like I said, I took, you know, the reins off and I decided to do a little coaching, and I have like 5 clients or so. So if they go to my website, which is lisalampinelli.com, and they really want coaching with something, it's either related to, you know, something they're struggling with, their food, their weight, their self-esteem, relationships, I would take on a couple more people, but I'm telling you, Sid, to do a good job as a coach for me is to have one person a day. Can't be like a rotating. I have exhaustion, you know, from putting myself out there for it. But I think if anyone, so they can go to my website. My show again is going to be coming back, and we'll have the dates up. We'll reschedule all the shows that were scheduled before. But I'm telling you, if you're struggling and you say to yourself, oh my God, I can't get anything done in quarantine. Oh my God, I'm not being productive. Who cares? All you have to do is get out of this alive. If you, in August, still are breathing, you killed quarantine. I am sick of, oh, we have to write our book. Oh, we have to learn Portuguese. I had a friend who told me to learn the ukulele. I wanted to stick it up a cunt. I said, don't put the pressure on yourself to do anything except relax, get your family safe, be safe, and don't worry about this pressure. Stop it. The world stopped, and you need to too. Am I right or am I wrong, Sid?
Well, I mean, you're 99% right. I mean, there's a guy who has a hardware store down the block, and he's been out of business for about 3 months, and he can't feed his kids. But fuck him.
Well, yeah, that's what I say to him. Yeah, God bless. Oh my God.
Hey, listen, it is great to catch up with you. I had so much fun with you so many times on my radio show, and you really do look great, and you're a wonderful lady and a great inspiration, and everybody here loves you, and I can't thank you enough, Lisa. This meant a lot to me.
Oh, you're the best. By the way, so is the radio show on now, or what's going on?
Oh, yeah, it's on. I take the train every day. In fact, right now, we have become, there's no sports. Nobody cares about WFAN. Right. We have become the voice of New York, running out of there every morning and talking about this nonsense. Cuomo, de Blasio, Donald Trump. So it's on. Sure. It's an important show.
Oh, good. Well, do tell your partner I said hi. Tell your wife I love her and that she is a wonderful woman who deserves better than you.
No question.
I love you, pal.
I love you. Good to see you, Lisa. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All righty. Thank you so much. Excellent job, Lisa Lampinelli. You got to love that lady. I'll be back again coming up on Thursday night with another great comedian, Jim Brewer, diehard Met fan. Of course, you know Jim. He is one of the funniest guys out there. So special thanks to Lisa Lampinelli. Ava, you want to say goodnight? Jump in here. Come on. My daughter Ava's going to say goodnight. Come in. Come here. Come in here. This is my daughter Ava. She's 16 years old. Say hello to everybody.
Hi.
Did you enjoy Lisa Lampinelli? Say goodnight.
Good night, everyone.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you again Thursday night at 7 right here on the Sid Rosenberg Instagram Live. Good night.
What happened? How many viewers?
Oh, a lot.
How many?
I can't tell, but I mean a lot.
Over 100?